Hi, welcome to Laura's View and Tarot 2. I'm really glad you're here. Today's date is Sunday, October 30th, 2022. And I would like to take a look at a recent news article involving Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi's husband. Apparently, he was assaulted in his home. And that assault happened with a hammer. Now, I have to admit, I have a droll sense of humor sometime, and I thought it was just very funny that I thought, well, he's no stranger to being hammered. Apparently, that's how he likes to live his life. But when it comes to an assault, we should not, no matter who that happened to, that's not to be taken lightly, because violence is never a good option to go to. Well, according to Real Raw News, the real or correct or original Mr. Pelosi is at the spa. Now, I don't usually quote Real Raw News because I think they've got a big mix going on there of some accuracy, some inaccuracy, and then a lot of the dates are really, really sketchy. There's been a couple things they've reported that I thought, yeah, that happened, but it happened years ago, as far as I know, or what the cards are telling me. So I don't usually reference them. And I didn't want to touch this subject originally just because of that. I thought, it's too messy. It's too messy. Well, yes, it's messy, but it's kind of a fun rabbit trail to take. And let me show you something that I found and where I found it. And you can follow me along on this little rabbit trail. We won't go deep and dark, but we will follow a trail, see where it takes us, and the universe will tell us maybe a little bit more at the end of our exploration. Here's what I'm talking about. When I was doing a little research about this incident, one of the places I eventually got to was, and I haven't been here before, so I'm not recommending it for, and I'm going to just say this is where it is and take it for what it means. It's called whatdoesitmean.com. Okay, they say that they list 500 articles updated daily. It does look like a few of the articles they have are concepts I've heard of and that resonate with me. It does look like this article I'm going to show you is a mix of fact, rumor, and innuendo. Okay, so let's look at this. This man that assaulted Mr. Pelosi, this is a fact. He has a criminal record, and that criminal record includes being convicted of sex crimes and prostitution. Okay. As I scrolled down this article, one of the things, though, this article does is it ties this even deeper, because apparently while she was prime minister for the UK, Liz Truss's phone was hacked. And as you can see from this headline here, hacked phone of British leader links male prostitute attack on Paul Pelosi to Russian mafia. So there's some interesting things here, lots of little, links you can click on and read more. It does look like this Mr. DePape, the person that did the assaulting. There's a 59-second video here that's a compilation of the police call that night, several other sources. So I found this to be rather enlightening, and I thought it had some credibility to it. So watch that 59-second one. If you go here, it should still be there. If it's not, let me know, because I videotaped it, so I have it. So if it disappears, it's somewhere. So it's really an interesting situation that's going on here. So that means, because it's interesting, that's another word for complicated. And the universe does provide information. You have to ask the question correctly. That's key to it. So on the one hand, we've got one alt news source that claims Mr. Pelosi could not possibly have been there. This could not possibly have been him that suffered that attack. And then there's reports that someone did. And there's also some good information out there, as I've been reading. People said, hey, that home is heavily guarded with whether they're there or not. And in that video, it mentions during the police call that Mr. Pelosi sounded a little confused, but he did say that the man's name was David and he was a friend. So apparently this was not just a break-in by some random stranger, as they would like to paint that to be. So let's ask the universe. This much covered story about an attack that took place in the Pelosi home. What insights and information can the universe share about that? Okay, so that way we'll leave who it happened to out of it and let the universe just comment on the incident that's reported to have happened in that home that resulted in an assault on someone. What does the universe want us to know about that situation? Information and insights are welcome and sought. Okay, I'll change the camera. You can see me finish the shuffling and we'll find out what the universe wants us to know. Lots of conflicting reports here. The universe knows the answers, though. What does the universe want us to know about this reported incident in the Pelosi home involving a couple men and a hammer? And what does the universe want us to know? Page of Cups, Four of Swords, Justice, the Hermit, Three of Wands, Six of Cups, Queen of Cups. Okay, well, our question about what happened that night, supposedly in the Pelosi home, is indicated by the Page of Cups. Now, this is interesting because this is a card of creativity. So they've had to really put a creative spin on this situation once the local law enforcement officers were involved. Okay, it's being clarified a little bit by the Four of Swords. And that's interesting because this card talks about stepping back and taking a little time to look at a challenging situation so it can be objectively analyzed. We're being told to do this objective analysis of this report. Okay, now here's the reason why. And because in the recent past, justice has been served. Mr. Pelosi was not the person that had that assault that night. It is possibly a double, someone that's playing the part of him, but Mr. Pelosi himself is truly out of the picture. So I apologize to Real Raw News. Maybe you were accurate about his being at the spa after all. Okay, we have the Hermit here, shining a little light again on this Page of Cups, saying, yeah, it's a creatively reported situation. Be aware of that. Take that time, look at the distance. I mean, obviously a situation has been, whether this was a bogus banner, which would normally be called a FF, if I could say the words, situation created. Does it have to do with the upcoming polling processes that we'll be doing? I don't know, but someone's trying to take advantage of it and raise sympathy for our Speaker of the House and her family, and about an assault that's been hopefully happening or happened. So we have in the near future about this situation, we have the Three of Wands. As people dig, and the Anons are doing that digging now, and more information comes to light, we'll be looking at this previous situation in a whole new way. Ultimately, it doesn't really matter. It's not going to make a big change in the course of events that are coming up, is what reassurance we're getting with the Six of Cups, because that's a card of reconciliation. It's a card of of good things. So I'm not getting any sense that whoever did suffer that attack is going to have permanent fallout from it. But we are going to be learning more in the coming days and weeks about that situation. And the Queen of Cups shows up here. She can be a little self-absorbed, but she's also a very much an emotional intelligence and telling us to use our intuition. So folks, if your discernment, if your intuition, if your gut, if you just want to use a regular everyday word, is telling you that this situation, there's more to it and less to it than we're being told, listen to your gut because it's telling you true. Okay. Got the Page of Pentacles for a little more information here. Page of Pentacles talks about financial opportunities. So there was money in this for someone. It's to someone's, they were hoping it would be to their advantage to have this bogus banner event unfold the way it did. And ultimately, it's a strategic defeat for the planners and perpetrators of that bogus banner. So here's what I'm getting. The real Mr. P was not there. Someone was there acting in his stead or in his place in some way. It was a creatively spun event. I think they were trying to make the best of a bad situation, maybe real quick on the fly, take advantage of a situation that occurred organically. It's not working out too well for them, and it's going to continue to not work out too well for them. In the meantime, as we hear reports on this incident, let's keep our sympathy moderated. Know that this is an event that's been spun and creatively spun. So whoever was harmed that night, no matter what they've been doing prior, I wish them a complete recovery. I don't wish harm on anyone personally, but we're not being told the whole story here, and there's a lot of spin doctoring going on, and it's just good to know about that. And it's kind of good to know that justice in the recent past has been in play for this family and their situation. May that continue. That's it for this video. Thank you so much for your time. I do appreciate that you spend some of it with me. I try not to take too much of it, and I wish you just the best of everything. Before I say goodnight, thank you to those of you that have taken the time to resubscribe if you needed to. To my new subscribers, I welcome you. And to those who have blessed me a little bit with Buy Me a Coffee, thank you very much. It's appreciated, but please don't do it if you can't afford to. Times are tight, I know it. And I do have a small, steady income that has nothing to do with what I do here. So, you know, I appreciate it, but you don't have to if you can't really afford to. So, how often do you hear patriots saying that on Truther channels, huh? But I'm trying to be authentic, and I'm trying to be real, and I'm trying not to be a PAY patriot. That's important to me. I want to be proud of what I do and how I do it. So, till next time, thank you. Good night.